right, good morning. I am Autumn Glover. I'm the co-chair of Nsdp. I'm going to chair the meeting today in Curtis Williams' absence, but we do have a quorum. So I'd like to call the meeting to order at 8:08 a.m. The Neighborhood School Development Partnership of the Board of Education. Thank you all so much for joining us. We have a short agenda today. So the first thing that we'll want to do is approve our minutes. So the minutes should be available to you in your packet. Looking at the date, where is it? What's the date of the meeting for the minutes, Alex?
One quick, so we've stopped distributing them on paper, so we
Okay.
email them out in advance.
They send them out electronically.
Yes, sorry about that, see?
So the date on your minutes are March 24th for the last NSDP meeting, and then there was technical oversight just this past week, April 21st. Those are both in the Senate.
Thank you. All right, so trusting that everybody had an opportunity to review those that came out last night via email, looking for a motion to approve. Second?
Second?
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? All right, so that motion carries. So the first discussion item is the facility master plan update, the proposed segment 4 projects, and it looks like we'll have a presentation.
You got it. So our consultant team, Robin Randall and Dennis Haven, will be here from Leggett Architects. They will present a little update to what you saw at last month's meeting, and with that, I'll hand it off to them.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. On behalf of Robin and everyone at Leggett Architects, we're proud to be here to present basically the final step of what is the segment for your review. The presentation that we've prepared for you today is the same graphically that you've seen last month. We've trimmed away a lot of the background information that was presented. We feel that today we're just going to jump right in. The other update that we will have for you as we get into the presentation is these projects that you will see are exactly the same. There have been no adjustments into the content of what was presented as far as the 5 projects that were in segment 4. So the first one is High School 1, which would be at the Marion Franklin site. And the one update that we have is the costing for the 2022 cost sets according to the Ohio Facilities Construction Commission. Pardon me. Last Thursday, the commission met to approve their updated cost sets due to recent inflation. As anybody has seen, that there is unprecedented inflation incorporated within the construction industry right now. And so there has been significant adjustment to the costs that were provided and what is presented in front of you today. Just to give you an example, the cost per square foot that you see here at $330.01, that was up from $281 from last, and that's just from last month. So it can be kind of shocking, but again, these are co-funded projects, and these are the budgets that the state has approved to use. So, but as you can see, 1,600 students, and the approximately 259,000 square foot facility in design would start in as early as possible in 2023. Project 2, we have at the Beechcroft site on the northeast side of town. And then again, 2,000 student school, approximately, or 316,000 square feet. Sure, no problem. And again, you can see the cost sets that have been updated, and with the LFI that was presented, all of the project components are the same. We have LFI costs associated to the auditorium and the outdoor athletics, and you can see the updated cost sets there as well. Middle School 1 at the Mifflin Middle School site, same as presented last month. 1,000 students, 140,000 square feet. Design would start early 2024, but the updated cost there is presented as well. From a middle school standpoint, the 325.75, just to give you some context, what was presented last month was approximately 260. So it's very significant cost increase for middle school. And then elementary school one, scheduled for the Winterset site. 600 students, approximately 70,000 square feet, same as presented, exactly as presented last month. And the $352 per square foot for last month was approximately 305. So again, very significant cost increase. Just as a reminder, this would be the other project to kick off as quickly as possible. So design would start for this project as early in 2023 as possible. Elementary School 2 at the Eakin site, or across the street from the Eakin site. 600 students to match what we would build at the Winterset site. Same size, same cost set. We would just stagger the design and construction. And again, the reason for the staggering, two things. One is for district resources, to have the district allocate, whether it's the curriculum team or Alex's construction team, all of those to design several buildings at once is quite taxing, but it's also because of the employee resources within the commission itself. So they've asked us to stagger the projects so that it's a fluid flow of construction and design, but they also don't want us jumping in with 5 projects immediately. So in summation, we have about a $303 million investment for the district. This design would start early 2023, and construction for segment 4 would be complete approximately sometime mid-2027 for the first 5 buildings. So with that, I tried not to belabor why we did all, we presented the why behind for last month. I just wanted to make sure that you had the projects and the cost sets updated. So with that, that is our presentation. So I'll leave it to any questions, should there be any.
Any questions?
I just have one. I'm curious, at a high level, can you give an answer as to why the cost per square foot is significantly higher for elementary versus the others? I can guess, but
Economy of scale.
Yeah.
So anytime the state releases construction contracts and they look at the fact that you still have to do all of the general conditions, you still have to have the similar workforce, it's just in a much more concentrated area, and you can't spread that out over the course because it's a much more compacted construction schedule as well, because it's a smaller project. Just, you don't have the economy of scale when you're building a 70,000 square foot building versus a 320,000 square foot building. You're welcome.
Yeah, I'll just add, I appreciate the question, just because I don't know that the general public understands that. And so yeah, it's a great conversation to get started, because I think everybody's history here is around those much smaller elementary schools that the commission would co-fund in the past. And there's multiple reasons. I don't know that it's just construction costs that really drive that decision, but I would say from our perspective, we do agree that the larger building is the better idea.
yeah, the kind of thing people tend to focus on with numbers, you know, the more prepared you are, you know, the better. So, cool.
Any other questions?
I say one thing. I will point out just a few things. So, you know, for better or for worse, we do have to live with the budgets that the commission sets for these projects. Our history with the commission has been pretty good. So, I mean, I do have a pretty high level of trust that their numbers are accurate and that we can complete buildings that we'll all be pleased with for those numbers. If you look at the bottom part of that last page, prior to the questions page, you'll see that, you know, so with our timing, we are kind of right on the bubble. So the commission projects a 12-year cost set. So they've just released their cost set, and it's assuming that you will launch into design within that 12-month time frame. And then obviously the design process is still going to be an additional 12 to maybe 16, 18 months, depending on the size of the building. So it's still anticipating that inflation that would occur over that time frame. Assuming that our board was to ask for funding this fall in November, the time frame when we could actually launch those first projects is going to put us just ahead of when the next cost sets would come out. So you'll notice that we are also anticipating yet another year of inflation, and I don't know that anybody can predict what inflation is going to look like for this upcoming 12 months. But talking with all of our resources, talking with the commission, we have made our best guess to protect our ability to execute on these projects. So you do see an additional year of inflation that we're hoping we can make the adjustment of to make sure that, again, we can fully execute on what we're committing, promising we can deliver on these buildings. And so that's all part of the calculation as well.
Thank you for sharing that, Al. Any other questions, comments?
Yes,
Go ahead.
Madam Chair. Good morning. Can you hear me? Good morning, everyone. My question is around that inflation cost. It's kind of a, how can I say, a dim-witted question, but I want to ask it anyway for the sake of those who may be watching this meeting, who don't understand. That inflation in cost will also represent an added cost or a heightened cost to the taxpayer. Is that correct?
Yes.
Thank you. I just want to make sure that that's clear and understood and documented for the record in this conversation this morning.
Yeah, thank you for the question, Board Member Cole. I don't feel like we very often get a binary question where it's a yes, no, but the answer is absolutely
The
yes.
answer is yes.
Yes. Any other questions? I think it's a healthy discussion. Appreciate you bringing this back to us to really level set and manage expectations. So, thank you. We'll look forward to more on that. Alex, any other comments on this before we move on?
So just again, just a comment to make sure everybody is fully prepared for what else is on your agenda. So we do have 2 action items today, and I'll let you, Chair, let us know when we're ready to move forward. But so the one is a construction contract, and the second piece is a resolution recommending moving this work forward on to our Board of Education. So we'll be asking the Nsdp to recommend by a resolution to move this work, what you see in front of you, onto the Board of Education for actual implementation. So.
So you have them listed in a different order, but just if the board is, or if the committee is amenable to it, maybe we can move for resolution 4.02 to move the facility master plan as proposed with segment 4 projects to recommendation to the Board of Education. Do I have a motion?
Second.
Second. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? Sorry, I'm trying to make sure I hear you all. All right, it passes. Uh-oh. That might have just been a little microphone bubble. If you're speaking, we can't hear you. So maybe try to join again or unmute and mute back. Apologize for that technical difficulty. I think we had a majority vote on resolution 4.02, so we can move on to the second action item if that's okay with everybody.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Alex, you want to give us some explanation of this one?
Of course. So that takes us to item 4.01 on your agenda today. So I have Lori Seeger, my project manager, on Zoom, and she will present award of a general contract to Miles McClellan Construction Company for additional renovations to the facility at 4077 Carl Road.
Wonderful.
You can hear me now?
We can hear you now.
Okay, sorry. This is for what we call a sweeper project at Columbus Global Academy, Columbus North International High School. We're where we're picking up the stuff that we didn't get completed last year with Facility Task Force 3. This is a copy of our advertisement in the dispatch that directs everybody to our website. This is a copy of the advertisement that went to Ohio MBE. This is what was on our website with our estimated cost. We broke this up into 7 packages, trying to get packages small enough that we could get smaller contractors who would have the ability to bond that work. We did a virtual pre-bid meeting, and then I did a walkthrough on site the next day. This was our default schedule. Notice when we anticipated opening bids, we ended up, because of an addenda issue, opening them up on the day we came back from spring break, I believe that was about the 20th. We took them to technical oversight last week. These are the attendees of our pre-bid meeting. This is our bid tab, bid analysis. Only 5 of the original 7 packages were awardable. 2 of them were just simply crazy stupid fun. This is the architect's recommendation letter. We received a combined bid from Miles McClellan for packages 3, 4, and 7. This is the legislation. We are recommending a contract in the amount of, where did we go? $758,000. On an estimate of $744,500. It was slightly over, but it was still awardable. It was less than 2% over. Here is the draft of their contract. Here is their LEDE participation form. They are committing to 20%. Miles McClellan happens to be 100% LEDE firm, so we'll get theirs plus the amount they're subbing out. This is the sign off from Terry Wise. And that is the action item. Do you have any questions for me?
Any questions?
I will provide some commentary and maybe give you guys a little bit of time to think about any questions you might have. So I will say I don't think it's any mystery that the market is really hard to predict right now. So you might remember that I think it was 2 months ago we brought through a very similar package for our world language middle school. So you might remember that several years ago our board authorized us to move forward with what we called the Facility Task Force projects. And so we did a good job managing those projects. We had residual funds, and so this is additional work we're able to pump into these 2 facilities. So the world language project we put out as 1 bid package. It came in, I think, about 20% under the estimate. I think we had 5 or 6 general contractors. Shocking. So we put out a very similar bid package, just larger in scale because it's a larger building for the Brookhaven facility. We assumed we'd get very similar results. The scope of work is very similar. I believe we got 1 bidder, and it was like 20% over the estimate. So I'm incredibly proud of the work that our team has done to get us to this point. So we met, we talked, we asked contractors for their feedback about why it wasn't an attractive package to them. We decided to use multi-prime contracting to our advantage, and it at least has partially paid off in this case. So we broke this package into 7 separate bid packages, hoping that we could get us a bigger group of smaller vendors who might be interested in working directly for our district versus working for a general contractor. And so I'm not pleased that we're not able to bring all the packages forward, but I am very pleased that we're able to get some of the work moving. And we're still working on other ways that we might be able to get the rest of the work under contract so we can finish up this work. So I say all that to say it's incredibly difficult to anticipate market right now, and I'm very proud of the work that our team has done to get us to this point. And you'll certainly see us continue to flex and adapt as quickly as we can to make sure we can continue to get this work done.
Cole, you have a question?
Yes, good morning. Thank you so very much for behaving and demonstrating the behavior of our committedness to our locally economic disadvantaged enterprise community here in Columbus and Central Ohio. So I greatly appreciate the strategy you guys employed of subpriming and trying to build it out, bid it out that way. Um, I hope that we can, where it makes sense, have these types of approaches moving forward that help remove barriers to entry for local enterprises that otherwise want to be able to do business with us, that are minority-based, veteran-based, female-based, what have you. So thank you for that.
Thank you for that, Board Member Cole. Any other questions? Comments? Thank you for the presentation, and again, thank you for your work on this. It's exciting to see this work move forward for our young people, and certainly appreciate the comments that Board Member Cole mentioned, Alex and your team, the diligence that you've taken with this one. So we do have an action item on this presentation. So looking at our agenda 4.01, the resolution, looking for a motion to award a general contract to Miles McClellan Construction for the 4077 Carl Road facilities renovations, project number 22013.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? All right, the motion carries. Thank you. So it looks like our next item on our agenda would typically be our community inclusion report. We don't have any actions or report this month. Next, I'd like to invite Board Member Adair or other members of the Columbus Board of Education who are with us this morning to offer any comments or remarks.
Yeah, let me, this is Eric Brown. Let me just, supplement what my colleague, Michael Cole had to say. I too am very pleased that that you've paid such close attention and that you have split up the contract as you've done in hopes of keeping with our commitments to LEDE. It's important. It's important to this board. And I encourage you to use this approach and others that will help us move forward with our smaller and minority businesses. Thanks.
Thank you. Board Member Beckerly or Cole, there are other board members on the line that I can't see. Have any comments or updates you want to share?
This is Carol Beckerly. Thanks for asking. No, I just appreciate everyone's work, and I'm happy to hear the progress from it.
Thank you.
I'm just looking forward, this is our Board Member Cole, I'm just looking forward to the abundant possibilities of, beginning the stages of development and design for our new schools. This represents a tremendous opportunity for the district and the community as a whole, that we not only right-size the district, but that we provide our students with, those 21st century amenities that are going to help propel their education and make them competitive, not only in the academic space, but even the future market space. So thank you for that. I look forward to us pushing for this together.
Thank you. I don't see Superintendent Dixon here this morning, but I offer Alex or other members of the Columbus City Schools team any other comments or updates you want to share?
Anything else today? Thank you.
We have no old business, new business, so I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second? I don't think you all have a choice to vote on that one. So we'll call the meeting, this month's meeting, to close at 8:32 a.m. Thank you all so much for your time.